After a long week of campaigns by presidential candidates across the nation, 6 presidential candidates were identified by the Electoral Commission as defiant and less concerned about COVID-19 guidelines, putting so many supporters across the country at risk of contracting the disease. Whereas the EC made it categorically clear that these elections and all activities were conducted in COVID times, it is the responsibility of every Ugandan to avoid the spread of this pandemic by individually observing the SOPs.
He does not invite these people to come out and he doesn't invite them. They just come by themselves.
And their supporters should also play their part. Period. This disease cannot be fought by Electoral Commission or Minister of Health or police. You and me and everyone. We must play a role.
The opposition has fronted the issue of highly priced digital campaigns from media houses and fear of getting into trouble with the state.
We are in Kotido and radio stations were not allowed to host him. In Moroto, it was the same situation. We got a radio station much later and it was very expensive. We are in Gulu, same situation.
On masks and sort of, yet they did not provide them. Now we are wondering how we are going to deal with such.
Dr. Andrew from the World Health Organization affiliated to Ministry of Health expressed concern over the campaign, stressing that there will be widespread contracting of COVID-19 if the general public doesn't change the current trajectory.
And these elections and the way the electioneering is going on will amplify, will increase the number of cases we are getting, and unfortunately also the number of deaths, because COVID can present as a mild disease, it can present as a severe disease, and it can also present as a critical disease. Now, when it presents as severe or critical, it needs extensive care within the medical facility.
A security hotline was also availed to address any issues that might arise during the campaign trail to harmonize police and the presidential candidates.
When you see how they treat the NRM people and they guard them and that kind of thing, even in the context of COVID-19.
You are too brutal. You do not negotiate, you do not dialogue. Even in instances where you would talk to people, you do not want to talk to them.
But the law allows, actually after reading the proclamation by an officer of and above the rank of Assistant Inspector of Police, we could even use live firearm, which we don't want to use. And if you have seen clearly, our officers have tried as much as possible to restrain themselves in the field. And we tell them, keep restraining yourself.
On the issue of some candidates being short on resources to traverse the nation like cars, Mr. Byabakama had this to say.
Like VIP, yet they didn't provide. They call us to be a public entity, that they are now we belong to the public, like we belong to the government, yet they are not providing.
AIGP Edward Ochom, who represented police, disagrees with public allegations of police brutality during these campaigns, adding that theirs is to keep law and order, hence won't tolerate candidates who float COVID-19 SOPs.
So if the candidates are to listen, they follow these SOPs. For us, we have no problem with anybody. And we even don't want to have problems with them, because we also don't want to use a lot of our resources for nothing. You deploy a number of police officers, you feed a number of police officers.
Some political parties like NUP have strongly disagreed with the double standards the EC exhibits when it comes to observance of COVID-19 SOPs. While moving across the country, most political party agents have encountered hurdles, including poor transportation and bad weather across the country. However, failure by many to adhere to the SOPs in most of the country has been attributed to lack of sensitization. Sharon Chomdisha, UBC News.